Joining us right now is a very good friend of mine, as she is highly intelligent. You spend 1 hour with her, you learn things you never knew about the human mind. She's that intelligent, and yet she focuses a major portion of her career on the people that she loves most. So much so, they are endeared to her forever, kind of like myself. And trust me, I can't wait to go back. We got Dr. Elise Brisco. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Aaron. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you back. Look, doctor, you obviously, for those that don't know, you have been an eye doctor. How long has it been since you've first got into the field of, help me out, it's optometry, right?
Yeah, I've been an optometrist and a clinical homeopath for 30 years.
And in that time, Doc, you have really not just stuck to the eyes part of it, because most people, when they go get their eyes checked, let's face it, that, you know, we all know the eye charts and such, but yours is very high tech. You put a lot of stuff into your center there. But I understand also what people don't know, and I'm going to resurface this. You had patented an eyepiece which allows for some kids, and I'm not sure if it were adults, I can't remember, that qualify that they could shape basically without needing glasses over time with special contacts that help form. How does that work again?
Yeah, we use Ortho-K, which is a corneal mold, and when you sleep with them at night, it decreases your nearsightedness without surgery. So it's great for kids because they're not old enough to have LASIK done, but it also reverses their nearsightedness and slows down future changes. So it's really a great way to stop your kids from their eyes getting worse.
Okay, so pretty smart, right? And she invented that. So, okay, now the reason sorry?
I did not invent that. I invented something else, though, invented and patented Nearsight, and this is for people who are farsighted and who have difficulty seeing close up. So my patients have complained to me for years, I hate my reading glasses. I don't like having to carry them with me all the time. So I invented and patented something to replace the need for reading glasses when you're on the go. And it allows you to see on your phone and off your phone with this really cool tech device.
Okay, so, and I understand because you had, messaged me to vote, and I voted, by the way. I voted for you because I'll always vote for you because you're just amazing. But quick question. So now that you're in this voting process, what can we do to help?
Well, I'm in a TV show on CBS called California by Design, and they chose the best innovators in California. I'm one of them. We're in third place right now for the People's Choice Award. So you go to California by Design TV, go to the People's Choice Award, and my invention is called Nearsight. And you just press on the heart, and that gives us a vote so that we can raise awareness about eventually all of us lose our ability to see close up when we reach our 40s. So it's a huge problem, but people don't want to carry reading glasses around with them, and some people feel like it makes them look older when they put them on. So instead, they use this cool tech device that they can share with their friends and brag about it, and it's really neat. 5 years in the making with RKS Design, my industrial designer, and it's really intricate, high tech, and I think people will love it.
I'm sorry I got the other one wrong. I don't know why in my head I thought you invented it, but I know you are instrumental to getting the information out, by the way. But not everybody qualifies for the first one, right? Like, because some people's eyes just won't adapt.
Right. Some prescriptions are not appropriate for that. But, both Nearsight and the Ortho-K corneal molds it changes lives. It makes people's quality of life better, and that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, and I look, whenever we go and visit your center there, it's been a hot minute, seriously, especially during COVID, and no lie, we need to get a new, eye. What do they call it? Like an eye test for the little guy, and then possibly for who, me, and also some other people. But my question is this: obviously, during COVID-19, I see you post pictures all the time. You're very clean. You're very sterile in your optometry there. Quick question, what are you doing to stay safe during COVID-19? Because I don't understand how it works, but I understand people can get COVID even through their eyes. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true, but I want to start by saying that it is safer to come to our office than it is to go to the grocery store because we have very few people. We don't have hundreds or thousands of people, and we disinfect it. We sterilize it. We have a fogger at night that we use. That's also food grade safe. So you can actually, it's safe enough to eat around, but it is for SARS-CoV. And then we use UV lamps and disinfect the whole office. And I really want to say hats off. I'm part of a group called Total Vision. We have about 40 practices, and they choose the best practices in California, and they've really helped us to make sure that we are going beyond the CDC's recommendations. We're keeping us and our patients safe when they come to visit us. But it is more important than ever to have your vision checked during COVID because our eyes are working really hard for us now. My son's school is online now, distance learning, so he's staring at a computer all day long. And most people are telecommuting. So all your meetings are via Zoom now. Yeah. All your work, your communication is on the computer. So people are getting what I call Zoom eyes or zombie eyes because they're staring at a computer so much, which is harder work than looking at hard copy, paperwork, or being in a room talking to people. So people are getting dry eyes, red eyes, tired eyes, and they're just getting sluggish from staring at that computer all day long. When they say you're staring at a computer, you really are, because since the image on the screen is not stable, it's actually flickering as the pixels are recharging the image on the screen. So to allow you to focus better, your brain slows your blink rate down by 80%. And so when you're staring and not blinking to spread tears and moisturize your eyes, you actually end up with dry eyes, tired eyes, your vision goes in and out of focus. And then you have the blue light issue on top of that. So the screen, the blue light from the computer screen makes your brain think that it's still daytime. So you don't go into nighttime mode where your body starts releasing melatonin. And then that's why people are not getting as good of sleep and deep sleep when they're staring at a computer for so long, and especially children. I mean, my son's been fidgety and restless, and I have to take him off that screen. So if your kids are doing online learning, or even you, take your breaks off the screen. You have to take breaks off the screen. Stand up, stretch, walk around the block, jumping jacks, running in place, whatever it is. Get oxygen and blood pumping to your brain and your eyes, but give your eyes a break. And then it's so important to wear those blue light filter glasses. So go see your optometrist. Get those glasses. You may need a light prescription that can leverage you and make it more comfortable for you so that you can be more comfortable and productive at the computer. But super duper important on that blue light. And then the blue light is more dangerous than sunlight. So it can actually cause harm to the eye because it's a really energetic wavelength that penetrates the eyes. It can cause damage in the macula and the lens. So super important time now that you go see your eye doctor, your optometrist. Again, I'm part of Total Vision. My practice is Hollywood Vision Center, and you can find us on the internet.
Yeah, and again, that's in Los Angeles. And like I said, if you're in the vicinity, and even if you're outside of the vicinity, she treats some pretty cool stuff that I think other optometrists miss. Dr. Briscoe, can you talk about oftentimes what you do? You know, look, we have to take a quick break. Do you have like 5 more minutes if we take a 3-minute break and then we have you another 5, or do you have to go somewhere?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. I have a question for her that needs to be answered. If you're just joining us, we're here with a good friend, Dr. Elise Briscoe, over there at Hollywood Eyes-Optometry, located in Los Angeles. There's some stuff that I think people need to be aware of to ask their optometrist, especially when it comes to young eye development. We'll talk about that just around the corner right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, KVVB TV, and various social media platforms that have video. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us right now, we've got Dr. Elise Briscoe over there at Hollywood Eyes-Optometry. And Doc, before I went to the break, I had a very important question that I think a lot of parents need to know about their kids, and sometimes what happens when there's a compensation that they don't know is happening. Can you describe what that is and why it's so important to get early on in life?
Well, it's important for children to have their eyes checked because, number one, they can't tell most of the time that they have a vision problem. They can't compare how they're seeing or how their eyes are working to someone else. So for back to school, as part of your toolkit, instead of just making sure you have a good computer and you have pencils and paper, you need to make sure your children's vision is correct and that they're seeing correctly. I've had kids come in the office who are legally blind. They're seeing worse than 20/70 or it's like 2200, but they thought that's the way the world looks, that it's always blurry. And until I examine them and show them with their glasses how they're supposed to see, they had no idea you're supposed to see leaves on trees. They have no idea that you're supposed to see the smartboard clearly. So these are the kids who are having difficulty in school, and people think, what's going on? And they don't realize it's a treatable vision problem. And then parents can't tell how their kids are seeing either. You can't see what your children are seeing. So that's why it's so important.
What's your recommendation as far as the earliest age to get a child in to your office, for example?
Well, the American Optometric Association recommends having your first exam at 6 months old, because then we can treat congenital problems. We can be preventive. I have children who have, quote unquote, a lazy eye, and one eye does not see as well as the other. And if you don't catch it early enough, then your child is clumsy. They have problems with depth perception. It can also interfere with your ability to input and process visual information, meaning that you're just not getting out of school what you should be because your visual system is not functioning properly. And especially since most of the learning now is just two-dimensional on a screen. You're not in school where there's manipulative, where you can have hands-on learning and you're listening to the teacher. So they really need to have good vision to learn properly. And I don't want another year wasted because of COVID that we're just learning online and kids just don't have the tools that they need visually to perform.
Yeah, Doug, I understand telemedicine's huge nowadays. Are you guys implementing that technology there at your office?
We are. We really are. I'm using something called Doxy.me, and I love it because especially our office was closed for 3 months. And so during that time, patients were panicking because life goes on and they still have vision problems. So I'm able to do consultations and exams for patients, not only my patients, but for years. I've been using telemedicine for years because I'm an integrative optometrist and homeopath. So I have patients calling me in from Europe, from Northern California, because there's so few optometrists who are holistic like I am. So I can oftentimes figure out what's going on with them from a conversation. I can do some anterior segment. I can check the front of their eye by having them come really close to their camera now. And Doxy is such a great platform. I feel like we're sitting in an office together. And I have one who called me and he said, I'm seeing a lot of floaters and I have like a curtain or veil coming down on my vision. I realized he had a retinal detachment from our conversation. I got on the phone immediately with the surgeon, with the nurse, the OR, and we scheduled for him to have surgery the next day for a retinal detachment. Wow. And had he not called me during COVID, during the shutdown, he would have lost his vision. So that's how important it is. And then I have many patients who called me with red eyes, tired eyes, because they're on the computer so much, or even an eye infection, pink eye. And I can treat them on the phone, call in a prescription for them. Some of my patients are still really reticent about coming out because of COVID. But again, it is safer to come to our office than going to the grocery store. But for my patients who just, I respect how they feel, I'm still doing telemedicine visits for them so that I can still take care of their needs during this time.
I am so glad you mentioned that. Like I said, we have an international audience. I guarantee you those Europeans that are watching are going to be like, oh, awesome. I'm going to sign her up. I don't have to go in person. But again, thank you very much. I know we've run over time with you, but Doc, look, I know we need to come in. We're overdue for an appointment, but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for always taking care of all of those that have ever gone to you, that I've ever recommended, because they always come back and go, wow, she knows a lot more than the average optometrist. And I will always say, hands down, I don't know an optometrist smarter than you. I'm sure you do, but I don't. So thank you for doing all that you do.
Well, thank you for getting this information out to everybody. And just for clarification, My practice's name is Hollywood Vision Center, so it's www.hollywoodvision.com. But on Instagram, I'm Hollywood Eyes, and I do a daily integrative or holistic wellness blog. So, would love to connect with all of your fans. Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron.